great day, attractive thinker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance. We are delighted to be here with you. I'm so glad you made it through another incredible, fantastic, and amazing week like we do as attractive thinkers. Today, we're going to be talking about, well, shining the light for you and showing you that you still matter. Now, you might say, well, Dr. Toni, I know I matter, but I want you to understand because of what you've been through, what you just overcome, that thing that you may be still in. You may not have been, reached the other side yet. You may still be in this thing, this experience, this circumstance that you're facing, or this obstacle that you're trying to overcome. I want you to know throughout the entire process that you still matter. Welcome, my co-host, Tichet Bradshaw, to another episode of Beyond the Break. Give yourself a fighting chance.
Happy Mindset Monday, everybody. We made it again and again. We get to do what we never did, go where we've never gone, and have all that we deserve to have in this lifetime. It's such an amazing day to be alive.
Yes, it is, attractive thinker. Do you feel that energy? It is a great day to be alive. Just that thought alone will elevate your spirit and your energy and your thoughts and give you newfound hope on top of the hope that you already had for stepping into another day. Sometimes, when we're going through experiences in our lives, defining moments, heartbreaks, breakups, breakdowns, of course, attractive thinkers, we don't break down, we break up. We recorded that. You need to go back to our YouTube channel and scroll through and find that topic that we talked about. We don't break down, we break up. But when you're going through these experiences in life, life's journey, you're going to encounter some things that, have the tendency to make you feel a certain way about yourself. You're at the top of your game, you're confident, you're courageous, you're creating whatever it is that you're doing for your life and for your family or whatever, or your business, whatever it is. And you hit a roadblock. Life can throw you some curveballs to make you second guess what you're looking at in the mirror, to make you, see something different that you've never seen before. To shift or shake your identity or shake you at the core or shake your foundation. Life has the tendency to do that. In the process of that, I want you to understand that it has not changed who you are. And that's something that we can hold on to Shep, when we're going through the fires of life, the hills and the valleys, the good times and the not so good times, that it does not change who we are at the core. You still matter, even though you're going through something. I remember going through different things in my life. And, I was fluctuating with life. Just like the waves in the ocean, they rise and they fall, or they come in and they go out. Depending upon what I was experiencing in my life, that's how I felt on the inside. When life was good, I felt good. When life wasn't so good, I didn't feel so good. And I was on that roller coaster for years, on that roller coaster, embracing the good times and the good vibes and the good waves that were coming in. And when the waves weren't so good, so did my energy dropped. So did my identity and my self-esteem, it dropped, because I was identifying myself with what I was going through. I want you to understand that, attractive thinker. When you identify yourself with meaning, when life's experiences become your reflection, and that's who you see yourself as, then your identity and your strength and courage and your source and your foundation becomes dependent upon what's going on with life, or what life has to offer you, or what happens, in the course of a day. And that continues to happen to me until I got, number one, you got to get sick and tired. That's why when attractive thinkers come onto these coaching sessions and they say, well, Dr. Toni, and this and that and the other, and this and that, I say, and when they finish, I say, congratulations. And it throws them off, because I'm so glad that they got to the point where they're not willing to take it anymore, or they're not willing to experience that cycle anymore, or they're not willing to allow life to make them fluctuate their identity. Today I feel great, tomorrow I don't feel so great. Today my self-esteem is incredibly high. The next minute, 10 minutes from now, my self-esteem can drop to a low. You know, after you get to that point and you're no longer identified by the fluctuations in life, now you've grown. Now you've become stronger. Now you know that your identity at the core will never change. It never changes, even though life changes. Tisha, talk to us today about how is it that we still matter even after
Mhm.
we go through or even are still in so many different situations that we're trying to overcome.
That you said we never change. Our identity does not change, but we grow, And so as we experience things, it is helping us to grow, to add another thing to our experience that we may need later. When we go through things, sometimes we forget that we matter because we make the circumstance or the situation feel like it matters more. So we put the focus on the circumstance, which we in turn put our identity to that circumstance, as opposed to understanding the power that's within us, the person that we are, the strength that's in us, the gift that's in us. That stuff doesn't change, like you said, by the circumstance. But when we focus on a circumstance, we make that circumstance matter. So we have to shift the narrative and allow ourselves to know that we still matter, even though we're going through that. So your feelings matter, your gift matter, who you are matter, what you went through matter, your emotions matter, how you feel matter, the things you desire matter, the things you want matter. All of those things matter, and it does not get erased just because you enter a season of break. When you come through the season of break, or when you go beyond the break, you'll see that every little piece of the puzzle that you had going on while you was in the break all added up for good. All of that added up for something. It made you who you are. When I was going through a break season, I everything that I went through, I no longer regret, because it all adds up to the person that I am now. Who you become in a process makes a big difference. So at the end of the breaking season, I had to understand that a lot of the things that we went through was necessary. Why? Because my purpose mattered. And because my purpose mattered, there was some things that was thrown in it in order for me to be able to get exposed to it. So the break had to happen because in that break was the exposure of our purpose. And so sometimes we take for granted some of the things that we go through, because we think stuff just happens. Nothing just happens. There's no coincidence. There's things are not just happening to you. We talk about it all the time, Dr. Tony. We say things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And why? Because where you're going does matter. Who you are does matter. What you are becoming does matter. Your desires does matter. So, with that said, when you're going through a breaking point, if you can kind of look at your circumstance and say, how is this helping me? What is this exposing in me? How do I identify along with this? Because some of us are identifying with a circumstance we shouldn't be identifying with. You should be identifying with the power that's coming from it, or the person you're becoming because of it. I was very depressed for a long time, but out of that depression birthed an encourager, because I had to learn to encourage myself and along with other people. In the break, also, I've learned that even though I was going through depression, that I still was able to encourage people, but I encourage people first before I understood that I mattered, that now I need to be a partaker of my gift. So once I understand that I matter too, I stopped giving myself the rest of me and started giving myself the best of me. So when you're going out into this world and you're sowing your gift, you're sowing, whatever you have that's within you, and you return home at the end of the night after serving, if we trying to pick little pieces of ourselves just so we can have a little bit of ourselves to ourselves. But when we shift that narrative, you know that you give yourself the best of yourself before you go out into the world, and you still give yourself the best of yourself when you return. The reason why I say you'll have enough when you return, because when you give yourself the best of yourself in the morning, then when you go out in the world, you're giving overflow. You're not giving from your cup. You are preparing yourself to overflow. Go out there, serve the overflow, come home and still full. That's how we're supposed to be when we understand that we matter. But when we forget that we matter because we're caught up in the circumstance, we'll just get up and go and serve everybody. And at the end of the day, we don't have nothing left to do in any of the things we desire to do. While attractive thinkers, visionaries, you know that it's important for you to do your mental breakfast, mental lunch, mental dinner so that you can stay in a constant state of overflow so that when you go out to give, number one, you're always ready to give. But when you go out to give, you're not taking away yourself because you matter. You at your strongest matter because the purpose and the power is in you. If you're down and out, what good can you be for anybody else? I'm a better encourager now because I allowed myself to be the first partaker of my gift of encouragement. So I'm a better person because I'm not tired after serving. I will know that when I return home, I'm replenished and I'm not on total empty. I'll be replenished. So I'll do something for myself to replenish me. Why? Because I still matter. When you see other people go out here and do things, you want to help them replenish them. You want to help them get back to get back whatever they just gave out. You want to make sure they okay. But when you matter, you got to do that for yourself as well. A lot of people put a negative tone on self-care because we get self-care confused with selfish. When we do self care is necessary. Self care is necessary because if I make sure I'm 100%, then I have 100% more than 100% to give. But if I'm just doing a bare minimum for myself, any little bit will be too much. Anytime anybody asks for anything, it'll be too much. Why? Because you only have a pinch left and you don't want to give and you're empty and then you're looking around to be replenished, but there's nothing there. You want to make sure that you always have something to grow. Always have something to grow. That's what I believe, Dr. Tony.
Awesome. Awesome, Tishet. You said something that made me think about attractive thinkers, while they're viewing this message. Every detail matters. This topic we're talking about, you still matter. Every detail matters. And you may have heard that before. And I know over time, when you hear something over and over and over, sometimes it could lose its effect if it's not manifested in your life, or if you haven't really grasped it with your belief and that faith caused it to really sink in and you see the fruit of that. But I want you to understand, when we say you still matter, every detail, every tear, every emotion, every action, every time where you felt like, you in your spirit, you wanted to move forward, but because of what you were going through, you couldn't. Your thoughts were holding you back, or your emotions were holding you back, or whatever that might be. Do you know that matters too? Tishet, you always say God isn't just all that is good, he's all in between as well. So every detail, every when you're going through something, like when you're going through a defining moment or a heartbreak, or some type of transformation or change, or even as new and aspiring entrepreneurs, you're trying to accomplish and create your ideas in your business and serve your clients and things like that, but you're also dealing with these internal things that you have to overcome just to get out there and share your products and services with the world. Even that process, that transformation process, it matters. When the caterpillar is transforming into the butterfly, that process matters more than him being a caterpillar, and sometimes even more than, if we look at it in a different way, more than what he's becoming. That process is the foundation. It's the thing. It's the meat and the essence of the transformation. We marvel at the beauty of the butterfly, but that transformation process that it goes through is unmatchable. The things that happen in that transformation are magical. And that's the process. That's the thing that makes us who we are, that process. So don't discount your process. You still matter, and everything about your process matters. It's not so important to get to the other side as it is to make sure you embrace the process, like Tichet said, that extreme self-care and understanding that every detail matters. Every tear was a part of the process. We understand as attractive thinkers that hindsight is 2020. So if you're in the transformation right now, you just experienced the defining moment or the heartbreak, understand that when you enter into that process, you have to shift from sight to vision. You have to, meaning you're not, when you enter into this process, you can't rely on your eyes, because you're not going to see that you're making progress. You're not going to see that you're okay, that you survived it. You're not going to see that you're doing great. So you have to shift into vision, because vision tells you that hindsight is 2020. You're not going to see clearly until you're out of this thing. You're not going to see clearly until you overcome this thing, or you're not going to see clearly until you're past this one stage of this process. There are stages to a process, and it's when you turn around and look back, you be like, wow, I really was conquering, or I really was holding on, or I really was strong. Or think about this, attractive thinker. How many things have you gone through in your life, and you've come through them, and you look back, you say, I don't even know how I made it. I don't even know how I made it. Now that's true. When you're looking back, you can discover that. If that's true, then when you enter into the next phase of your growth and development, you face another circumstance, it's true then too. It's true then too. If you don't know how you made it out of that circumstance, and you're in another situation that you're overcoming, the same power that kept you through that is keeping you now. And this is what I've discovered, Tichet. Being kept doesn't feel like being kept. It doesn't feel like you're being kept. Success doesn't feel so successful. It's hindsight that's 2020. It's when you look back and you say, oh, wow, I was doing great things, or it was working, or I was stronger than I thought I was. You still matter means the same person that you were when you were at the top of your game is the same person that you are when you're down in the valley. You still matter means you're the same person. You haven't changed. How you feel matters. You're still strong and courageous. You're still fantastic and amazing. You're still, the promise is still yours. The opportunity is still yours. Just because you're going through something doesn't mean you're not who you were, or you're less than who you were. You're not, you know what, Tichet? I will go as far as to say, when you're going through something in life, you're greater than who you were, because the greater version of you has to step up in order to handle some things. The
That's
us
it.
that we are, when we enter into a heartbreak, that us that we are can't handle that kind of emotional trauma when we're entering into a heartbreak. The higher version of us has to step in. That's why we look back and say, I don't know how I made it. It's because it was a quick identity shift that took place. A stronger you stood up to the forefront, the you that could handle it, the you that could take those blows, the you that could walk through that fire and not be burnt. That's the person who stood up. And that other person, they stopped right at the gate. You left them right at the gate. When you entered into the gate, into your heartbreaking, your defining moment, in your situation, whatever it is, that person that you were, that was as far as they could go. So you left them right there. And there's a higher version of you it's like passing the baton. You see the runners running, and that other runner runs really, really fast to catch up and grab the baton. Do you know the person who passed the baton, that is as far as they can go? They can no longer keep running in that race. They're done. They've met their point of accomplishment, and the person running now has to take over. That's the visual that I want you to see, attractive thinker. When you're entering into a heartbreak or a defining moment or experiencing some kind of transformation, Even in moving, it doesn't have to be a heartbreak. Moving from one location to the next, or graduating. The you that you are as a student is not the you that you are as a graduate. I want you to understand that. So the student has to drop off. That's as far as the student can go. The graduate takes over and continues the journey. I want you to think about that. So you matter. This is how much you matter. You're transforming all of the time. You're letting go of old selves and you're embracing new parts of yourself. So I want you to understand all of that. Every part of that transition matters. And if you change any piece of it, any part of it, any detail of it, you change the whole game. Back to you, Tichet.
I always say that you can't take away the process without taking away the award, and the award is too great. Because when we go through things, we don't, in the midst of it, we don't know that we're creating something major. Sometimes the gift is being exposed and being created at the same time. And that's through your gift, because you really don't know what's in you until you go through certain situations and circumstances. You never realize how much you have learned until you go and tell somebody what you just went through. And it might sound amazing to you, like, I can't believe, I stood through that. I can't believe, I made it through that. Yes, you did. And so because of that experience, this new you has a new path and a new vision that they must walk out. But see, that that situation had to happen to get you on this path,
Mm.
because your soul was wanting something that required this path. Now, does that mean we always have to go through bad things? No. That means every situation that you go through matters.
Mm-hmm.
All of it matters. Everything you go through matters, because it is leading you to a path where you can actually play out the purpose for why you're here. We're not just here to exist. We're not just here to just take up space and breathe and live and die, and that's it. We have a purpose here on this earth. We have something to offer this earth. There's a reason why we came in this body, this particular body, to do this particular work. There's a reason behind all of that. And once you understand why you matter, then that's where you'll see that reason behind all be revealed. But until you see yourself being able to operate in that gift, you'll suppress it because of the situation. You said something, Dr. Tony. You said you have to shift from sight to vision. Now, I heard you say that 1,000 times. I
Mm.
have said it 1,000 times myself,
Mm-hmm.
shifting from sight to vision. And it got me to thinking this time.
Mm.
When a circumstance happens,
Mm.
a lot of times the first thing some people do is throw away the vision, let go of the vision,
Mm-hmm.
right?
My God.
They focus on the sight so much that the sight is all they can think about. That's the misery,
Mm-hmm.
right? But the reason why we have to remind people to shift from sight to vision and to look beyond, to see beyond what you're looking at, because what you see in your sight has nothing to do with the vision, it adds to it.
Yes.
What you see in your sight sometimes is opposite of the vision. Your sight will tell you, yeah, things are not going to be okay. That's bad. That's really, really bad. But vision will tell you this will be your footstool. The vision will tell you this is how you're going to get to the next level. This is the vehicle that you're using in order to conquer that thing you said over there before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
That is the vehicle. So sometimes when you shift from sight to vision, you allow your vision to pull you through what you see. Your vision can be strong enough to pull you through anything if you can see it clearly. That's why we're here, to make sure that you can see your vision clearly. And if you need clarity, you know how to find Dr. Tony at the Attractive Thinker Guru. And then here I am, the visual encourager, will make sure you hold on to that vision and make sure that it's always live within you, so that you can make sure that it leads you to that path, and that anything you go through will be added towards that vision. So I was sitting here and I was like, from sight to vision, I was like, You know, we throw away the vision in a panic. We'll throw away the vision.
Yes.
Something happened and we're like, oh my goodness, this, maybe I won't get that house. Maybe I won't have that business. Maybe I'll never get married. Maybe I won't have children. Maybe I won't go to school. We'll have all these different things going on, and we don't hold on to the vision. Your vision is handlebars. Your vision is the handlebars of the vehicle to get you to where you were supposed to be, to get you to the point of your purpose. Your vision is the handlebars. Now, as you grow, sometimes the vision will grow too. And so those handlebars will become more and more intricate. And those handlebars will always be there for you no matter what happens. You can turn around and you'll see that that vision is still going to be there. I don't care what goes on in your life, you're going to always have this desire. You can't fit in mundane and mediocrity. You can try all you want to, but that's not what calls you. That's not what pushes you. That's not what set you on fire. You try to get comfortable in something that you weren't designed for. You're not going to be comfortable. It's not meant for you to get comfortable in that. So instead of focusing on that, focus on how to get out of that so that you can go home to where your heart is. And your heart is where your vision is. And so when you understand that you matter, that means that sometimes you have to walk away from sight and go to vision. You have to walk away from things everybody said that you should be or you should do. You know, everybody's not meant to be a doctor. Everybody's not meant to be a lawyer. But if you're a doctor and a lawyer, but your heart is not in it, then you have to figure out what your heart is in. You have to follow your heart at all costs, and you have to be okay with becoming, who you want to be. You have to be okay with becoming the visual character, the attractive thinker. That's how we did. We had to be comfortable with being that, being who we are, because we weren't created to do what everybody else wanted us to. We tried so many times. And guess what? Something at the end of the night start calling you, start screaming out, I want. And the more you silence it, the louder it gets. We got to listen to our spirit because our spirit will lead us on a path where we'll learn and we'll grow and we'll experience some things, but it will all matter in the end. It will all add up to this glorious ending of purpose and power. Back to you, Dr. Tony.
Awesome. So, so awesome. Attractive thinkers, I trust that you have captured these gems that we dropped today and you understand clearly without any doubt that you still matter. It doesn't matter what you're going through because you matter. You matter, attractive thinker, more than anything. I want you to study your notes, listen to this message again, and get all that you can get from it because every aspect of you matters. And you need to know this when you're going through something. Sometimes you feel worthless. You feel like a wrung out rag sometimes because life can really throw some curveballs. And sometimes when you're trying to overcome things in yourself that you want to express in your business, that can, present a little struggle there. And it can shake your identity and cause you to see yourself as something that you're not. So I want you to understand, we just stopped by to share this message and to inform you that you still matter. Doesn't matter what you're going through, attractive thinker and visual encourager. You still matter and you're going to be okay. You're fantastic and amazing. You're incredible. You're doing great. You're winning. It's a great day to be alive. And we just want to encourage you to keep going because it will not always be this way. Visit our website at theattractivethinker.guru, book a coaching session, and get the clarity that you need and the next steps and the direction so you're not stuck, so you don't feel lost or your brokenness is affecting you, your business, your customers, your clients. Get the support that you need at theattractivethinker.guru to tell our audience how they can get in touch with you, the visual encourager.
Absolutely. You can find me on my website at www.visualencouragement.com. I provide mental support for movers and shakers, trailblazers, pathfinders, and groundbreakers, people who desire to move mountains so that they can create a new vision for themselves. Go to my contact us page, put in your information, let me know how I can uplift you, enlighten you, and encourage you so that you can live a life of fulfillment. Again, that's www.visualencouragement.com. See you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tisha. What a fantastic and amazing topic today. Attractive thinker, you matter. You're fantastic and amazing. You matter. Did you not hear what I just said? You matter. Yeah, you. You matter. Yes, and you still matter. Dr. Toni Hatton, we want you to understand our life's work, that's to make your life better. Remember, it is not what you're going through, it's how you're doing it. Think attractive. And we'll see you soon.